And this is just the beginning of America First.
Antifa exists.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put there a number of hours before.
He's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And he's, this is on live television.
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened. The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting now?
Watch Hillary examine the terrain. Watch a campaign with the man Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine in the membrane. Tim Kaine in the brain.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
$7 million for reef fish management. Not good. Believe me, not good. And then they have cans of soup. And when they get caught, and then they have cans of soup. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. No good. 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 No 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 good. No good. No good. No good. No 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 good. 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 No 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 good. No 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 good. No good. No good.
And by the way, I don't think that's some grand conspiracy. I think this is sort of what power is. I mean this at a sort of high level.
They had a very bad original concept.
It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. It's very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come out and address my progressive audience. They won't come out and address Bree's audience, or Katie's audience, or Justin Jackson, or you. They are not accountable to us. They're accountable to whoever the fuck themselves. Let's not kid ourselves. As Chris Hedges taught us a long time ago, the people attracted to politics are the most mediocre.
Dumb people, liberal people.
Friends. They are elected servants, and start fucking treating them that way.
I hear Brad.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Us and fucking healthcare. They're putting their fucking personal position ahead of that. Don't fucking forget that.
So stupid. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about with that, Jimmy?
I'm talking about anybody who's a progressive in Congress who isn't endorsing hashtag the vote. All those motherfuckers.
Did you use the word smart?
Up today at our town hall.
Then I have an article too, where I have the right to do whatever I want as president, but I don't even talk about that.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
In a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
Antifa exists.
Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Whoa. Hello? Is this... Hello? Hey! Hello, users, and welcome. We are rocking a little bit more of a... a little bit, look at this. I got the slanted camera angle look going on here. This is exactly what we're doing here. My chair is still squeaky as ever. I have replaced the glass with a Chihuahua-based coffee mug. While I consume my covfefe. Speaking of covfefe, it is the final full day of the Trump administration. So yeah, that's the situation. That's pretty cool. Again, for those wondering, I am still not in my regular location. I do have my second monitor set up, and I can read the chat room, but it's like way down there. So like, if I ever look over here, if I'm like ever investigating the corner of the location, then that's what I'm gonna do. I got a lampshade, for those wondering. I got a lampshade. So that's pretty cool. We have got classical anti-fascist. We've got Hook, Fun Police, Antifa, Billiard Dilliard, Addy Had Me Like, also Bob. We've got Mila Ressen. We've got Dusty Scarlet. Itor Vicent. Dude, Dusty. When Nico replied to your tweet on Twitter, I literally died laughing. I just want to say, I very much so enjoy your Twitter game. Thank you for that. Hello, Aunt Tifa. Hello. Screenshotted. I always thought Force the Vote was a porn site. Same. Hello, Yodeler Yodels. Hello, Jordan Atkin. Hello, Aom. West Crosby. Are y'all like a bunch of new people? Am I like got some new people in here? That's awesome. Hey everyone.
Dumb people, liberal people.
That is directed at all the liberals that are watching. Again, Trump. Only 26 odd hours left of Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump is gone, that's going to make Joe Biden enemy number 1. So, you bet your sweet bippy that motherfucker's not going to get a break from me. You know, that, I got to get some more sound drops of Joe Biden, like, give me a break and all that stuff, because I'm not going to give him a break. Let me just tell you. Again, if I'm not looking at the camera and doing all that shit, then, bear with me. This is the Ben Shapiro angle, where they do that, like, where the camera changes and then it's like, it fades and it's like, whoosh, right? And then it's like over there, and then I'll put the camera somewhere, like, outside, and it'll peer at me through the window. Yeah, so we're making do. I'm in a spot of unusual proportions, and we will keep it that way. At least for the temporary time being. Thanks for the shout out. FYI, I pronounce it reason. Okay. Yeah, if I ever mispronounce people's names, what I like doing is mispronouncing them on purpose. So that way, if I mispronounce someone's name, they don't get singled out. But if I mispronounce everyone's name, then it's like, oh, that's just what they do. Hello, Usfest. Freshly blocked by Katie Halper. I actually did some proactive blocking, also known as mental health care. So, drinking coffee out of a glass again. No. I got my Chihuahua mug. See? This is not mine, but it is going to be mine for the duration of this day. We are settling in a little bit more. So tomorrow's the inauguration. And my brother is coming to New Jersey tonight. So I'm thinking I might get him on and we'll do an inauguration stream. What do y'all think about that? Now, when is the inauguration? Is it not like noon? When does the event start, I should say? Like, because if the event starts at like 10:30 or 11 or something, and then it lasts up until, and then I'll just do that instead of a regular Above It All show. But if it, I don't know what the schedule is. I haven't been able to pay attention too much. So, does anyone know? Can someone tell me when the whole ceremony thing starts? And are they doing it in a bunker? Is that happening? Is Biden being inaugurated in a bunker? Or am I going to, have to witness something I don't want to witness? Yeah, am I going to have to witness something I don't want to witness tomorrow? Does anyone know? You know what? If you account for time zones, Europe is a Trump-free sooner than Americans. I don't know if it works that way, but we'll, keep our brains up. The inauguration's tomorrow, Billiard Dilliard. 26 hours. All right. But yeah, I've got some pretty fresh cringe right off the presses for today's show. So let's get into it. Look at this fucking guy. Look at this guy. You see this guy? Like, what is this? Okay. So I just want to, okay, let me give you a little bit of a history lesson for me. I've been on YouTube for a long time, right? I remember the big anti-feminism, anti-SJW wave, right? Of 2012. And then that kind of turned into Gamergate. And now we've got, the domino thing where, the guys, doing and then the big thing, right, in the background, right? So, 8 years later, the Secretary of State of the United States is using terms like wokeism. Seriously? What happened to this country where Gamergate happens, and then 8 years later, Secretary Pompeo is saying wokeism? I'm really having a hard time figuring this one out. But I'm going to try to read this. So, wokeism, whatever that means, right? It could mean anything, right? But whatever that means, multiculturalism. Wait a second. What? All of the isms. What is that? It's like a slapdash or something. Is that what it is? No, slapdash is a word. What is that? That's like a M dash. There you go. So, okay, first of all, wokeism, that doesn't mean anything. multiculturalism, that's what means something. Multiculturalism basically means, yeah, if you do not eat hot dogs at 4th of July, we're going to fucking lock you up, bitch, if I had my way. That's what that means. As a vegetarian, I feel discriminated against. So, they're not who America is. So, Little Italy, over wherever, there's a lot of Little Italys. I'm in New Jersey, which in itself is a Little Italy. That's not who America is, all of a sudden. What about, places like Chinatown in certain districts? Is that just not American? It's multiculturalism. What does that mean, it's just like, this is the Secretary of State. This isn't like a 4chan shit poster. This isn't like Paul Joseph Watson going on his Twitter page saying something stupid again. This is the Secretary of motherfucking State. And I'm not even halfway through. They distort our glorious founding and what this country is all about. First of all, who's they? Wokeism distorts it? Well, wokeism is a they? Or all the isms distort the glorious founding? Do all the isms include racism? Does racism distort the glorious founding? Because maybe, I would agree with that. Our enemies stoke these divisions because they know they make us weaker. And then we've got an even cringier quote. And then we've got like the book jacket, right? Like you turn the book over, right? And then like you open up the back little thing and then like you see the book jacket photo that is usually rest inside. You see Mike's face is just, he's looking like he's looking at God right now. He sees God on the other end of that quotation. So Secretary of State Michael R. Pompeo. First of all, what is with these people and being Michael R? The Vice President is Michael R. Pence. Secretary of State is Michael R. Pompeo, MRP, Michael R.P. That's ridiculous. What's wrong with these people? Do they really all have to have the same fucking goddamn initials? Are you joking? All right, let's read this. Censorship, wokeness, political correctness. It all points in one direction. Not to be confused with the boy band that lost prominence many years ago. Authoritarianism, cloaked as moral righteousness. What? What? Seriously? Like, why?
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I just don't get it. It doesn't mean anything. Anyway, so that's Mike Pompeo out with some bullshit. And, this guy's dumb as hell. Let me tell you, this guy's dumb as a motherfucker. All right, I'm looking at the chat room. Look at me. See? Look, chat. It's down here. Screenshot it. I don't think it includes butt chug-ism, unfortunately. That's a pretty important ism, I must say. I'll find a better way. If anyone wants to look, my monitor is set on a chair. So it's like literally, oh shit. It's not level at all. My monitor is not level at all. It's literally just set on a chair. Let me get that slant back. I like the slant. It makes me look like, hell yeah, man. Like, look at this, right? Like, look at me. See, I'm cool. This is what cool people do. And Pompeo needs it only the really... I think I did that. There we go. See? I'm pretty sure I did that. I'm thinking a lot about anti-SJW MLK. All lives matter. I love it. So good. This is me levels of camera work. Hello, Crystal Koznecki. Are you my new friend? For those of you that don't know, I'm in a temporary location. There's been a little bit of a family emergency, so I am not in Northern Carolina. I'm actually in the new Jersey. There's actually a new one. They just came out. Fun fact, I'm actually just down the street from the first ever Wawa drive-thru, right? We're bringing it back. We're full circle. So maybe I'll go and stop there at some point. Yeah, so like again, my like this, this room is very cluttered. I just brought all my shit, and so I'm just kind of set up in a corner somewhere, and that's kind of what we're doing. Well, I'm actually not in the corner technically because that's the door to the room. So technically I'm not in the corner. The corner is right over there, but the corner's already got stuff in it, right? So when you account for the fact that the corners are already filled, right? I'm shoved in like an artificial corner. So it's not like the corner by the wall standards. It's the corner based on the standards of there being stuff already in the corner. So it creates another corner. You know, like, so for example, this is the corner, right? Not to be confused, of course, with the coroner, of which has not been called at this point. But this is the corner, right? And then there's like a bunch of shit, right? So then imagine that this is the new corner, right? So then, and then I'm like right there. That's exactly, if you could understand that, then yeah. Anyway, I did a lot of weed last night, so hopefully that's not a problem. Let's see, what else do I have here? I got a little notepad. All right. I haven't had a Wawa in a long ass time, let me tell you. All right, I'll save the People's Party for later. Let's do this. Yeah, that's right. See, you like that? A little bit of a spoiler, a little bit of a teaser. You know, I like teasing. I'm a tease. You know, some could say. How's everyone doing? Where am I at? I am in the county known as Burlington. Ow. Fucking, I hit my teeth. Oh. 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 Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. So, Lauren Boebert, who, people may know as that dumb bitch from Colorado, was caught, unfortunately not with her pants down, but, with her guns drawn, in this analogy. And she basically was given tours the day before the Capitol, attack on January 6th. So on January 5th, she was giving tours to a bunch of people that later tried to breach the Capitol and killed lawmakers. She previously lied about these things, but according to a CNN interview with Steve Cohen from, I believe, Tennessee, that is not the case. Let's listen.
That's remarkable. Remarkable to hear. I want to ask you about something specific, because several of your colleagues have alleged that the rioters may have received inside help, including raising the prospect of tours conducted or with the okay of fellow sitting members of Congress. This is quite a charge to make. Have you seen any hard evidence to substantiate that allegation?
Only thing that I've seen, Congressman Yarmouth refreshed my recollection yesterday. We saw Congressman Boebert taking a group of people for a tour sometime after the 3rd and before the 6th. I don't remember the day we were walking in the tunnel. We saw her and commented who she was, and she had a large group with her. Now, whether they were people that were all
this is CNN. Like, come on. These are people, like, this guy's on the Judiciary Committee in the House of Representatives in the United States of America, and they can't get a mic to work? Jeez. This reminds me of this classic piece of film.
In my opinion, it's never too late. So, little double sound deck. So that's the story, fellas.
Large group with her. Now, whether they were people that were all correct or not, I do not know. He was a freshman. He might have had a large number of people coming to be with her on this historic occasion and just wanting to give them the opportunity to have a tour. But it was pretty clear that her team is the team. She's not on the home team. She was with the visitors.
But do you know that any people who were in that tour led by Boebert later attended the riot? That's the question I have.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
All right. So this is casting together a narrative here. So we already know that Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene are heavily involved in the Cue Ball movement, that I like to refer to them as. Q, of course, being spelled C-U-E. So they're involved in the Cue Ball movement. And so we know that they have been showing sympathies with the rioters and the looters that stormed and breached the Capitol building, looking to execute certain lawmakers. It's interesting that they weren't looking to execute Lauren Boebert, right? Isn't that interesting? Why? Because probably she's in on it. Again, Lauren Boebert, the day before, actually, I think it was the day of the Capitol attack, Maybe it was the day before. I remember I covered this on my show. She made this big stink. She made a huge video about, I'm going to carry my gun to Washington. I'm going to promote my Second Amendment right. I'm going to have my gun. I'm going to have my gun. So she brings her gun to Washington. She got into like a huge fight with fucking the metal detector people after the January 6th event. She got into a huge fight. Not like a fist fight, but, you know, she was like, I'm on my freedom and my liberty, right? She was bitching and moaning like a fucking loser about the metal detector and didn't want to give up her firearms. This bitch is totally in on it. You cannot tell me the January 6th was not an inside job. Look at the cops. They just let them the fuck in. They just let them in. Seriously. But, so, I don't know. Fuck Lauren Boebert, and I'll take circumstantial evidence against her. Fuck it, why not? I'll signal boost some circumstantial evidence. Fuck it, right? Like, I don't have any integrity, right?
Bad deal. Should have never been thought of.
My lord. How's everyone doing? I like how the chuds are like, not all white people are murderers in response to, yo, I screenshotted you. You read my mind. You read my mind. This bitch is like, I know what's next. I know what the next segment is. Hey, I guess the next segment. I'm going to ruin the next segment. I'm going to ruin the next segment by saying what it is in the chat room before it comes up on the stream. That's screenshotted right now. Like, that's this fucking bitch in the chat. Just ruining my program. Just ruining my fucking program for no reason. No reason, I should say. No reason. Alright, so speaking of my program. So, in this interview with Tennessee Representative Steve Cohen, he says this. I want to play this full clip. Glenn Greenwald, of course, whom is in the title of this video if you're watching it after the fact. Glenn Greenwald is telling us to watch this. So I like Glenn. Glenn's my good friend, right? You know, we go way back. So my good buddy Glenn is telling me to watch this. I'm going to watch it, and then we'll scroll down and see what Glenn has to say.
This morning I was reading about this on my Twitter account, I guess, and people were reminding people of Anwar Sadat and Indira Gandhi, who were killed by their own people. You know, I was thinking the Guard is 90 some odd %, I believe, male. Only about 20% of white males voted for Biden. You got to figure that in the Guard, which is predominantly more conservative, and I see that on my social media, and we know it, they're probably not more than 25% of the people that are there protecting us who voted for Biden. The other 75% are in the class that would be the large class of folks who might want to do something. And there were military people and police who took oaths to defend the Constitution and to protect and defend who didn't do it, who were in the insurrection. So it does concern me, but the vetting at the last minute.
But, I mean, that's far to have voted for Trump does not make you an insider threat. I mean, that's far different from being a threat of violence inside whether the National Guard or law enforcement. I'm curious, is there anything you've seen to substantiate just how broad this insider threat may be, if it exists?
Absolutely not, Jim. But, you know, you draw a circle first, and the first circle is people who were for Trump and not for Biden, as far as people who would be within the zone of folks who you'd be suspect of. The suspect group is large.
Yeah. Final question, if I can.
All right. So I watched this clip. I think, damn, a sitting member of Congress is calling out white men? Hell yes, right? Fuck them. So let's scroll down. Glenn Greenwald has a reply from a one Emily Reitnacher, whatever. I'm sorry, whatever. He is wise to be concerned about this. He's exactly right. He should be taken seriously, right? Now, I agree. Glenn told me to watch this video, and you know what, Glenn Greenwald? You know what? I'm happy I did, because I agree with this video. So what does Glenn have to say? Right, I know, right? Can you believe it?
Dumb people, liberal people, dumb people, liberal people, dumb people, liberal people, dumb people, liberal people.
You feel white men should be presumed to be likely murderers and assassins and treated that way by the state, including your relatives? Well, first of all, my relatives are not in the National Guard. We're talking about the National Guard, you dumb fuck. Do you have favor race-based extra screenings at airports and train stations? Just a little racial profiling based on this assumption. And now the thing about Glenn Greenwald that's so dumb to me, and it proves that this guy's a little bit kooky, is that he is able to sniff out Brazilian fascism very well. That's one of the main reasons why I even bother with him to begin with, is because I like his reporting on Brazil, right? So it's like, he's able to sniff out some really fucking stinky shit in Brazil, and then when it goes to America, it's all like, all of a sudden, there's no such thing as authoritarianism. Trump voters willing to kill people? Never heard of it. I've never heard of it. A white person yelling at a non-white person and threatening to kill them? I've never heard of such a thing. That's completely foreign to me. You're telling me, so you're telling me someone in the military, by the way, the FBI released a memo in the early 2000s that said that white supremacists have infiltrated law enforcement. So 20 years later, you're telling me there's videos of the cops letting people into the Capitol, right? There's videos of the cops taking selfies with people in the Capitol. How dare you insinuate? Seriously, what is wrong with this guy? Is Glenn Greenwald, is he just did he fall off a cliff somewhere and hit his head on the way down? Seriously, what is this crap? What is this crap? That's what this is. This is crap. This is so stupid. It really is just so dumb.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I really just, I want to like Glenn Greenwald, right? Glenn Greenwald, you want to like this guy because he's done decent work. And then every time he tweets, he just makes you want to jump off a cliff yourself. Seriously? This guy, what is wrong with him? I just don't understand. This is what fucking anti-establishmentarianism does to your brain. It makes you like this. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Might be worth mentioning that there's a 5% chance this is a bit because his Twitter humor is atrocious. Fuck it. If it is a bit, fuck it. Whatever. I don't care. I heard Glenn Greenwald attacked Pac-Man on Twitter, but I didn't see it. I mean, that doesn't sound untrue to me. Well, yeah, exactly, Mega Magikarp. That's why I was mentioning the cops letting the people in. That's all they need to do. All they need to do is not do their job, right? If someone is planning on harming Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, and the National Guard is there to protect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, oops, the sun was in my eyes. Damn. I would have jumped in front of that bullet or whatever, but the sun was in my eyes, and I had a scratch on my neck, and my cell phone was ringing, and the hash slinging, and it's that's all they need to do. They don't need the National Guardsman doesn't need to turn around and fucking hold hostages, right? All they need to do is not do their job. It's as simple as that. Holy shit, a proper use of anti-establishmentarianism. Thank you. See? You learned. It's a big brain show. This is the big brain show. The sun is Antifa. I think in this context, the sun is Fa. The whole thing was funded by billionaires, like always, because the right is never really organic. Oh, of course. That's the thing, is all you need to do is invent a conspiracy theory network like QAnon. You get a couple of Congress members, easy, right? You get them in there. And then you get a bunch of drones that are willing to do literally anything you tell them to, because why not, right? Like, why not? All right. U.S. Fest, $4.99. You should watch November 6th, Useful Idiots. Greenwald defends Trump repeatedly. Halper, before blocking me, claimed she disagreed with Glenn Greenwald and Matt. I actually, I remember when he quit The Intercept, Glenn Greenwald went on, like, a fucking, like, weirdo victory tour thing or whatever. Like, he's like, I've shredded my corporate credentials and now I will go on Joe Rogan and talk about how transgender people are a little icky. And I sent him an email about it, and he replied to me, like, saying that he was interested in having a conversation about it. And then he just stopped replying, like, halfway through the conversation. So I assume he got busy. But I also assume that he is not willing to have a conversation about it based on that. But, you know, whatever. The guy's kind of creepy, to be honest with you. How long until some Q-nut attempts, how long? About 25 and a half hours. If I were to guess, 25 and a half hours. That's my guess. We're in a Q-shaped recovery. That's correct. We are in a very much so a Q-shaped recovery. New York Popo still doing bullying BLM protesters per yesterday, even as they are currently being sued by the Southern District of New York for abuse of BLM protesters. I mean, fuck them. The New York police is fucking horrible. Are there any journalists that aren't creepy? If I ever become a journalist, I will fulfill that role. But I plan on becoming another type of ist. Or ishin? Or ism? Whatever. I don't know. My dry herb vape should be here soon. Are you going to vaporize some mugwort? Get some good dreams going? I had some crazy dreams last night. Let me tell you, ever since I did mushrooms, my dreams have been amazing again. Like, I've got so much more material to work with. It's amazing. That's the thing, is like, Joe Rogan, is Joe Rogan like purposefully red brown? Probably not. He probably doesn't even know what the term means. But like, the thing is, the guy is so dumb, right? If you've got millions and millions and millions, like literally infinite money, like all you need to do is go in front of a microphone and open your mouth for 3 hours and you get like, you know, a normal person's 10 years worth of salary. Like literally. Joe Rogan speaks in front of a microphone and gets like an average worker's salary for 10 years in just 3 hours, right? There is like a certain level of like, there is no such thing as like stupidity at that point, where it's like, if you've got millions of fucking bucks, right? How are you still that dumb? You've got the capability to learn anything in the world with no restrictions, and you're still that dumb. You've got the capability to eat any food in the world to make your body as optimized as it possibly could be. You choose not to. You remain unhealthy and you remain dumb. I just don't get it. You have millions of dollars. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Hello, Mr. Mudd. Reminder. I actually forgot to mention this. There's actually been some breaking news that happened over the last 24 hours. And this actually deserves a shout out on the show. So let me go get this breaking news now that Mud Joe is here. Trying to find the breaking news. There's breaking news somewhere. I'm looking for it. It'll be located at some point in the near future. Alright, I have found the breaking news. So yesterday I mentioned that a cable was missing. I packed 2 monitors. Count them, 2 monitors. You can see one of them right here in the Ben Shapiro angle. So I counted 2 monitors, and I was like, you know what? 1 monitor is going to be tricky. 2 I can do. 3 is just extra fluff, right? I have 3 at home, but, 2 I can work with. So my dumbass decided, oh, I got the monitor. I'm ready. Forgot the cable, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I forgot the cable. So I mentioned this on the stream yesterday. I said, my brother is coming tonight. Tomorrow night, I said yesterday, which is now tonight. And I said, I asked, he could probably bring one and then take it home. And then MudJoe2 decided to convert that in the chat room. MudJoe2 decided to convert that from a story into a side quest. And so I've got some breaking news here that I'm going to try to get through. So very shortly after the program ended yesterday, MudJoe2, also known as Joseph of the Mud, says that he's going to bring me this cable. And so I get reports. They start flooding in at about noon. I get some reports. So breaking, according to reports, a MudJoe2 is currently embarking on a side quest to bring me a monitor cable because my dumb ass forgot one. Now, that should have been 2 words, but I wrote this on my phone, so bear with me. I understand dumbass is not properly utilized here. It should be 2 words, but bear with me. Forgot one. Will follow up shortly. So again, this is the show. Without this cable, this show would be significantly worse. So I just want that to be understood. So we scroll down. We continue to scroll. And then we find out news. I have just acquired an image from a trusted source. The trusted source was actually MudJoe himself. That confirms that a MudJoe2 has acquired the necessary cabled apparatus for my monitor to function. So not only did MudJoe2 bring me an extra cable, he went to Best Buy and purchased an adapter. Like, literally, what is wrong with this person? So then they start driving to my home. So here we have a little bit of an update. Update. Joseph of the Mud, reportedly known as MudJoe2 in online forums, has completed his side quest and gained 661 experience points. Of course, we did a coronavirus 6 feet selfie. MudJoe was trying to wave. He was trying to do a pose. But then, my phone's I've got an old phone, right? So when I click on the picture, it lags for half a second. So he put the hand down and then looks awkward. Really bizarre stuff. But anyway, so that's MudJoe2 backing me up, providing with me some breaking materials that were absolutely and utterly required for the show to function at peak capacity. And again, this is the show. Is it any better? I don't know. Whenever my next YouTube check comes in, you bet your sweet ass motherfucking ass that I'm going to be getting some other fun stuff. My YouTube check for my YouTube check for December is coming in. It's a month delayed, this week, but January, let me tell you, y'all have been giving me too much money this month. Let me just tell you, January is, wow. I don't know how to feel about it. He did it only for the XP. I mean, still. MudJoe2 has we've definitely made a deal. Of course, I can't fulfill that deal until I get back to North Carolina at the very least. I mean, I guess I theoretically could, but it's I'm at my family's house. What am I going to sit upstairs and play a video game for 8 hours straight? Nah, that's not going to happen, right? So, it'll have to wait until I get back home. But, yes, there was a deal that was made. It was a transaction of transactional proportions. And with that being said, apparently I've got 5,000 Discord messages. No, I've only got 1,000. Okay. All right, so are we ready? We're going to talk about some dumb motherfuckers. All right, so we got traitors get shot. Wiley man who was at the Capitol riot threatened to kill his family. So let's watch.
4th North Texan, accused of being part of the mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol. Guy Reffitt was arrested by the FBI over the weekend. He's also accused of threatening to kill his own family if they turned him in. Tonight, we're also hearing from the Frisco realtor who was arrested for storming the Capitol and what she's asking for from President Trump. Here's Scott Gordon.
I'll turn this up.
According to the FBI, Guy Reffitt was among the mob of Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol January 6th. Agents say they spotted the oil worker in news footage of Capitol rioters wearing a tactical vest and a black helmet, flushing his eyes from apparent pepper spray. These still images from the news video are included in Reffitt's criminal complaint. On Saturday, when agents went to Wiley to arrest Reffitt and search his house, they say his wife, son, and daughter revealed he had threatened them as traitors if they talked to police. In a court document, his wife said when she was not at home, her husband stated to their son and daughter words to the effect of, "If you turn me in, you're a traitor, and you know what happens to traitors. Traitors get shot." The FBI says Reffitt further told his son that if he crossed the line...
One thing that's really funny is, like, you know what happens to traitors, right? That's already, like, a euphemism, right? It's like, yeah, you know what happens to traitors, right? Yeah, right? Like, you're supposed to stop it there. The whole point of saying you know what happens to traitors is so that you don't incriminate yourself by saying you're going to kill someone. That's the whole point. So when you say you know what happens to traitors, traitors get shot, you're just a dumbass. Like, you're just a dumb motherfucker, right? Like, seriously.
...line and reported him to the police, putting the family in jeopardy. Reffitt would have no option but to do his duty for his country and do what he had to do. In a phone interview with NBC5, Reffitt's 18-year-old son Jackson described his father as a strong supporter of President Trump, who believed his false claims that the election was rigged. He says his father joined a right-wing militia group. "I love him, but I hate him," Jackson Reffitt said of his relationship with his father. "I don't really know him anymore."
If it comes down to war, guess what? I'm going to be there.
Meanwhile, Jenna Ryan, the Frisco realtor arrested last week and released on bond, is asking President Trump for a pardon.
President Trump, I want you to know that I have been a true supporter of yours, and I believe
as you can
tell
the election by this background, real quick, this is someone with economic anxiety, of course. One of the like weirdo like left Twitter and like Glenn Greenwald's been doing this too. But like one of the weirdo coping mechanisms is that like, oh yeah, no, the Capitol rioters were poor people. Right, Jimmy Dore was out there saying, oh, if we just gave them $2,000 stimulus checks, they wouldn't have tried to kill Nancy Pelosi, right? Well, this is, as you can tell, someone with very hardcore economic anxiety. You can tell this person is struggling to get by, you know, judging by their looks, their clothing, and their background, of course. So let's just keep that in mind.
We're all going to be up here, and we're going to be breaking those windows.
In its criminal complaint, the FBI quoted some of her own words she posted on social media. But Ryan says, despite what she said,
we're going to go down and storm the Capitol. They're down there right now, and that's why we came.
She never vandalized anything and didn't approve of the violence. In an interview with NBC's Cynthia McFadden, Ryan says she thought she was welcome inside the Capitol.
Are you guilty? I personally feel innocent in everything that I have done. I feel like the police officers were ushering people in to the Capitol. I ended up getting in the Capitol for about 2 minutes, and I was like, ew, this is not where I want to be.
Okay, we came far enough.
The FBI investigation of the Capitol riot continues, and more arrests are expected. Scott Gordon, NBC5.
There you go. So I love doing those things where I get to play the news video, and it's like, I don't have to do anything. I just sit here and watch a video. And then, you know, like... So good job on them. But yeah, these people are fucking weirdos. They're freaks, and we really do need to send them all to jail. In my estimation, that's my opinion. But yeah, so again, these people, again, they've got economic anxiety at the wazoo. They really, if only they got that extra $1,200 or $1,400 a couple weeks ago, you know, then they wouldn't have gone and stormed the Capitol to install Trump as president, right? Because Trump giving them $2,000 would have meant that, you know, that Trump has lost the election or something. They're so stupid. They're so dumb. They're just so... This is not where I want to be. Oops, right? I'm sorry if I miss messages. I'm really trying here. Don't worry about it, Hector. If you don't have much money to work with, you should you should be keeping as much money as you can. If you don't have much to go with. Absolutely. And that goes for everyone. Now, again, if you want to give me like $10 or whatever and you've only got 20 in your bank account, like, I'll take it. But I would prefer not to. I would prefer for only the wealthy people in my audience to give me money. This is a way that we all benefit from. Ew, she says, as she continues to support Trump and the rhetoric which fueled those psychos. Yeah, I mean, that's weird. They just do this thing. Again, I mean, I covered yesterday a story of some dumb bitch posting on Instagram. She was like, "Hey everyone, I'm at the Capitol. I just stormed the Capitol, everyone. And then like her friends DM her. And her friends are like, "Dude, what is wrong with you? You're embarrassing. You're a piece of garbage." Like, go watch the video. It's really funny. Hey everyone, I'm at the Capitol right now, and I just like stormed the Capitol. The cops like let us in. I just like, we're really cool. We're making history, guys. I don't know what treason is, but like, I'm at the Capitol. I don't even like Trump that much, but like, I flew all the way here, and I spent like $900 on first class tickets. I don't like Trump that much. But, like, I spent $900 on first-class tickets and then spent $1,200 on a hotel room across the street from the Capitol so that I could storm the Capitol. You know, I don't really even want to be here that much. I wasn't really, planning on coming here, but then I just, spent several $1,000s getting here because it's not cheap to go across the country, but I don't really even want to be here. In fact, I've got economic anxiety. Like, that's what these people say. Unbelievable. $5 from Ian Kinzel. Here, Hector, this one's for you. See, there you go. Hello, Bob. We got multiple Bobs here. What are we going to do? Bob on Bob violence is incoming. Hello, Home. Hello, Quibble. Hello, Billy Rubin. Hello, JL. I got one more thing I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Ryan Knight again because he keeps posting embarrassing stuff and I'm going to make fun of him for it. So just letting you know, and I'll get to that in a second. My one complaint is looking at Nancy Pelosi's wine cellar while clapping. Of course. I mean, I personally, I love the Nancy Pelosi in the foreground. I will keep that as the official above it all artwork up until Nancy Pelosi retires, personally. I mean, it's possible. I'll throw like a Biden in this with sunglasses in the corner or something. What would you think? Should I modify the artwork? Because I haven't modified the artwork since I made it, and it's about like 5 months old now. I made it during the summer. So? There's another Bob in here. Not only is there another Bob, but there's just a Bob. Like, you're Bob Carmody, and then the other person is just Bob. So, I mean, if anyone's the replacement, it's you. You're the one with the last name. You're the one who's got the identifier. I've got social anxiety. Yo, me too. Well, I don't know if I still do. I might not have social anxiety anymore. I don't know. It's possible. I pronounced your name correctly? Hell yeah. Alright, so again, real quick programmatic changes. If someone wants to DM me on Twitter, Discord, or otherwise, when the inauguration ceremony is going to begin, that's the plan for tomorrow's episode. I might do co-commentary with my brother. I haven't asked him yet, but I'm going to ask him. A lot of people like when I do videos with him, and he moved to Wisconsin recently. But he's coming up here because of the situation that we're dealing with, so. So, we'll have the opportunity to do some videos, so I might have him on as well. But if someone wants to, give me some scoops on that, I would love that. I'm from North Jersey myself. North Jersey is the bad part. You don't want to be there. That's the no-go zone. We don't go there. This is a very critical importance. Central is the cutoff. I'll maybe take like the Mitt Romney equivalent. Like center right. The Mitt Romney counties of New Jersey. But when you go far up north, at that point, once you go so far up north, you're in Trump territory. And I don't mean like politically and like, in that kind of sense. I mean like in the sense where they're too far gone. You're not going to have a conversation with someone that lives up on that side. I'm sorry. It's just, man, these people, let me tell you, these people not sending their best. Real quick, I would even go as far as to say, in the words of our president,
only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ
would ever live in North New Jersey. Now, I'm fine with living in North Carolina, but I would never live in North New Jersey. I can't do it. In fact, you know what? I won't do it. Obviously, I'm just joking. But you know what it is. Is the inauguration actually happening in a bunker? I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I hope so. You're from Connecticut, tri-state reppin'? Well, I mean, after the pandemic's over, I'll probably be up in New Jersey more often, so keep that in mind for those of you that are in this area. Did you know that West New York is in New Jersey? I did know that, actually. I would love to go to New York City. I've never been to New York City. But after the pandemic's over, let me tell you, when this pandemic is over, I'm going places. Literally. I'm going to like go outside and everything. It's going to be great. You live in Philly? That's right. I literally live like 20 minutes from there. In fact, I'm going to Philly later today because that's the airport that my brother's coming in on. I'm going to be in your neck of the woods, Bob. If you want to meet up and like say hello through the car window, I'm down. I live on Long Island, and there are still Trump flags and gatherings by the train station. Interesting. I would love to do live shows. I mean, I'm a very, I like props. I like comedy. I would love to do live shows. When the pandemic's over, if this, YouTube gig is still working out for me, if it's working out in this capacity or better, and I would assume it would only get better if I keep doing this every day for another year. But if it's at this capacity or better in a year from now, I will definitely be doing live shows. So I'm just throwing that out there. We'll figure it out, but that's definitely something I'm interested in. So, I don't know if anyone has ideas, that kind of stuff. Let me know. Anyway, yeah, I got one more segment I'm going to do. So, let me get this done. Here I am. I'm just chilling. I'm just fucking chilling. Alrighty. See, look at me. Look, I was just relaxing. This is like... Alright, I got to get ready. I got to get my clothes on. I got to make sure I'm all fluffed up properly. Man, there we go. Alright. See? Look at that. See? Look at that. You can't even tell what I've got going on because I'm just so far away. And then I got the microphone in the shot. Normally I don't have the microphone in the shot, right? But now I do. See, this is the professional podcaster thing. Only professional podcasters have the mic in the shot. People kept telling me, where's your microphone? Yeah, sure, your show sounds better, they say. It sounds better. But I want to see the microphone. And I say, well, you don't need to see the microphone. And now you do. So there you go. You should team up with Vaush. Come on, you need to grow your channel. That's not my okay. PSA. You don't go to a smaller YouTuber and tell them to team up with a bigger YouTuber. That's not how it works. That's not the way that this space goes. You go to the bigger person and then say, "Hey, look, there's this little fish out there. They love you, even though I don't care about Vaush. But tell them." Right, say oh, please, you must signal boost this person. I can't do anything. What do you if I could just get the attention of big YouTubers, guess what I would be? A big YouTuber. That's not how it works. I should team up with Bernie. Bernie and I have been in conversations. We've been working on a collaboration for a while now. We're going to do a podcast. Remember Hear the Burn with Brianna Joy Gray? Well, Brianna Joy Gray is cringe, so we're going to do like a Hear the Burn part 2 with me, who's not cringe. And that's the scoop. We get a scoop incoming. Oof. That's one hell of a. When am I going on Nomiki? Nomiki said that I'm going to be coming on Friday, to my understanding, unless anything changes. So that's the idea. We'll see. You know, I'll have to come up with a better camera angle at some point, but we'll see. You vote no mic and shot? Well, I mean, I could have no mic and shot, but, you know. This is actually just, like, honestly the best place for it right now. But, you know, when I go back home, the mic will not be in the shot. So, what are you going to do? I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Might be a week, might be 2, might be 10, might be 40, might be 12,000. I don't know. So we'll see. Again, as the days keep progressing, I'm probably going to move stuff around and make it a little bit more optimal. David Dole from the Rational National got a good bump when he had about your amount of followers when the Humanist Report platformed him. Humanist Report follows me on Twitter. I should send him a DM. Yo, you got to platform me, man. What the hell? That's what I should start doing, that thing. Where I just start sending out DMs to every person that's got more followers than me. It's like, hey, I see you follow my page. I see that you're way more popular than me. Can you please spend the next 72 hours of your life promoting me and only me and nothing else? How much do I need to pay for that? Can I do it for free? That's what I need to start doing. Wait, no, Mike, where did the pro streamer go? That's a great question. All right, the left started to fall apart again when Michael Brooks passed away. Honestly, as far as, again, I want to say the left and left media on YouTube or on Twitter, those are different calculations. Like, it is of utmost importance to understand that, like, random fucking union organizers at a bar have never heard of Jimmy Dore, right? They've never heard of Brianna Joy Gray. They maybe have heard of Bernie Sanders, and that's a maybe, right? So you have to understand the left, or at least the base that the left speaks to, is not the same as left media online. Now, that being said, left media online, abso-fucking-lutely, that shit is in shambles, man, let me tell you. Michael Brooks is definitely like glue in that instance, like, you know, keeping a lot of those people together. But I mean, at this point, I don't know, man. I can't take people like Crystal Ball seriously. I can't take, like, Sagar seriously. He's not even a leftist, right? But he tries to be in this space for whatever reason. I can't take him seriously. I can't take Jimmy Dore seriously. I can't take Brianna Joy Gray seriously. I can't take a lot of these people seriously anymore. So, I mean, hey, that's just me. Mike from the Humanist Report is actually a nice guy. I doubt he would charge you. What, for 72 hours of promotion? Well, if someone wants to hit up Humanist Report, 72 hours of promoting me and only me, you know, I'm down. I'm down. I need a fan because you need a fan base that does that for you so you can hide your clout thirst. Exactly. That's what I'm telling y'all. You got to go to these people. You got to go send them the messages. The health of the online left is based on how many people hate TYT. I guess. Yeah, that's actually... You can see that. I mean, like my opinion on TYT is, like, they're not that good. Like, but they're a lot better than literally, like, what they... The space that they're in. They are, like, the best of the space that they're in. Like, I'm not like a fucking news cable station or like a wannabe news cable station. TYT is, and they do a decent job at it. Right? So if you were to give me 24 hours of airtime every single day, like let's say you give me 7 days, 24 hours, right? And then I pick and I could choose what I want at those times. Sure, I would make a better product than TYT. But that's not the situation we live in. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, TYT is decent for what they are. And I find that most people that hate on them are just like clout chasers. We should infiltrate other podcasts' fan bases. Exactly. You got to go into these people's fan bases, get in their Patreon. You know how some people do those like monthly Patreon calls? It's like, hello, patrons. I'm going to talk to you for about 30 minutes because you gave me $30 a month. Hello, everyone, and goodbye. Like, you know how people do that? You got to get on those calls, and you got to say, my one thing that I need to tell you is that this other person is way better than you. That's what you need to do. That's the only option here. Because, like, let's be honest, we're running out of options. Majority Report is better than TYT. I mean, I don't disagree with that, but they're also different products. TYT is so much better anytime Jank is off camera. I tend to agree with that analysis. All right, let's get into, speaking of grifters, I want to get my last segment done, and then we can do some more chill and talk to the chat room for a little bit. So, I've been criticizing, I've been critiquing, I've been, using words constructively to try to make people that are more popular than me in the same space that I inhabit more aware of what the things that they're saying are. So, I've talked about Ryan Knight a couple times. Yesterday, I did a story about how Ryan Knight, Jimmy Dore, and some other people planned, with the People's Party, mostly Nick Brana of the People's Party, planned this big anti-AOC campaign around Force the Vote. So that was exposed yesterday, and Ryan Knight's been he's been kind of do some damage control here, and he tweeted out something that I find absolutely bonkers and bizarre. And it just proves that this guy really doesn't understand the space that he's in. And that's fine. And I want to say that explicitly. If Ryan Knight wants to read a book, great. He should read a book. When I first got into politics, before I started my show, what I did is I read a bunch of books, as many books as I can. I listened to as many different podcasts as I can, listened to audiobooks, watched documentaries. I wanted to know what I was talking about at least a little bit before I started a political show. And it's fine if you don't want to do that. That's fine. But if you've got a platform with 360,000 people, right, chances are you should know what a term like democratic socialist means. Like, if you are having 360,000 followers and you don't know what the term democratic socialist means, I mean, I don't know. At that point, there's like an interesting situation to comment on. So, Ryan Knight tweets this out. This is, again, after he got exposed for participating in an organized anti-AOC grift campaign. After that was exposed, by the way, he exposed that on accident, which is really funny, but after that was exposed, he goes on Twitter to try to do a victory lap. So he says, according to AOC, you can be a capitalist and a socialist. I disagree. And before AOC stands go crazy in the comments, I don't dislike AOC at all. I think she's helped shift the conversation on what is possible, but she is no longer a firebrand or a radical. So I want this to be understood. Ryan Knight is talking about himself here. Ryan Knight a year ago was an Elizabeth Warren supporter who hated AOC, right? So when he says that she's helped shift the conversation to what is possible, but she is no longer a firebrand or radical, that is textbook projection. And again, there's no problem with that. If you start off as an Elizabeth Warren person and you turn in to be leftier than AOC, that's great. That's wonderful. But you have to understand that in your analysis. So, again, you can be a capitalist and a socialist. Being a socialist was never in this conversation. This conversation is a clip of her talking about democratic socialism, right? Which is not socialism. There are different words for that for a reason. democratic socialism. Now, again, we can have a huge conversation about, well, technically what they're referring to when they describe or democratic socialism is social democracy, but, we can have that whole conversation. But either way, the point is she did not say to socialist. Let's listen.
You have said you are a democratic socialist. Can you be a democratic socialist and a capitalist?
Well, I think it depends on your interpretation. So there are some democratic socialists that would say absolutely not. There are other people that are democratic socialists that would say, I think it's possible.
What are you?
I think it's possible.
So again, now, I don't know what the context is preceding or succeeding this clip here. But again, she's not talking about socialism. She's talking about democratic socialism, which, in my opinion, is a milquetoast, really kind of cringy brand. Personally, I think DSA would be a lot better if it were just a socialist association or organization or whatever. What is it? Or democratic socialism. It would be way better if they were just socialists of America. Like, democratic socialism, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like a centrist. It's like, okay, you figured out what socialism is. You figured out what communism is, but you're still kind of too afraid to take that final step. That's what it seems like for me. I was a democratic socialist for a couple weeks, and I was like, all right, I get it. It's over. I'm a communist now, right? And so I think that's the natural evolution of these things. Now, however, that being said, whether or not it's a good thing that Bernie Sanders decided to mainstream the term democratic socialism, and again, when he says that, he kind of mostly meant social democracy, and that's a whole big thing, right? But these terms have meanings, right? To be a democratic socialist or a social democrat and being a capitalist, those are not necessarily conflicting, because in and of itself, democratic socialism is a compromise between capitalism and communism. That's what that is, or socialism, whatever term you want to use instead of communism. That's what that is. It is a middle ground, and by being a middle ground, by the simple fact that it is a middle ground, it has to incorporate parts of each ideology, right? And if that's your thing, and it's like you want to go for that middle ground and you think capitalism is okay sometimes, personally, I disagree. I think capitalism is okay. Never is capitalism okay, especially after the history of this fucking world and planet that we live on. But that's just my opinion. If you are a democratic socialist, of course it's possible to be a capitalist and a socialist. That's literally your ideology. Instead of saying you're a socialist, you're saying you're a democratic socialist. Why are you adding extra syllables in front of your political ideology unless those extra syllables translate to something that means something? So again, if Ryan Knight is a socialist, that's great. But he should not be utilizing these words and lying about what AOC says. Like, again, if you want to, say that he said this without the, clip attached, okay, it would have been a better tweet. But he attaches a clip and then just incorrectly captions it, and it's just bizarre. It's weird. And it just goes to show that this guy doesn't quite know what the definitions he's talking about are. And, again, I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody. Well, I do hate Jimmy Dore, to be honest. I think I've given him enough strikes as far as I'm concerned. But I don't hate any of these people. But they're way more popular than me, and they say things that are way dumber than me. If some dumb bitch with 8,000 YouTube subscribers knows what these terms mean, and someone with 360,000 Twitter followers doesn't, I think that there's a problem there. And so I'm going to speak up about that, because, personally I think that, personally, I think it's something we should talk about. And now that Bernie is out of the picture, we got to move on from democratic socialism. I'm sorry. Communist, anarchist, socialist, good, right? Whatever word in those that you want to use, like anarcho-communist, anarcho-syndicalist, that's all good stuff. Democratic socialist, social democrat, Come on. This isn't 2015. This isn't 2016. Let's get our shit together, because guess what? We got Joe Biden in office. Now, people like to say, is Joe Biden going to be FDR, the modern day FDR? Well, FDR was a centrist Democrat. A lot of people don't know that. Again, when the Democratic Party was also the party of racism and slave owners. FDR was a centrist Democrat. He locked up Japanese Americans in concentration camps. This guy was not a radical. The only reason why we got things like the New Deal was because we had organized labor power in the form of communists and anarchists that wanted to destroy the government. They wanted to revolt against the government. And people like FDR placated them just enough to prevent a revolution. So, is Joe Biden a modern-day FDR? We can't make that calculation until we do the work required to test that thesis. Whether or not Joe Biden is the modern day FDR does not hinge on Joe Biden, does not hinge on AOC, does not hinge on the Democratic Party. What it hinges on is our ability outside of electoralism to organize for that future. That's what it hinges on. And I think podcasters like Ryan Knight are making that a little bit more difficult to comprehend. Anyway, hopefully that was a little good monologue there. I don't mean to sound like a little, like a preacher. Though maybe I should sound like a preacher. I don't know. Am I good at preaching? Should I continue to preach? What do you think? What do we got here? Someone give me some feedback. If you are advocating for socialism and a capitalist system, you are a socialist and a capitalist at the same time. I slightly disagree. Like, for example, I aim for socialism in a capitalist environment. If we get, like, social democratic or, like, half measures, I'm okay with that temporarily. Like, I'm okay with anything that inches us further toward communism. But one of the ways that I describe being a communist to people that don't know much about the word is I will always strive for something better. I think that is the innate kind of, like, strategical implementation of communism, is like you should always be advocating for something better, right? If you start off the compromise, you end up like Barack Obama's presidency. Whereas if you always are pinned on the left, and sometimes you make some half measures temporarily, and then as soon as that half measure is done, you continue fighting to pull that half measure to another half or to a 3/4 or whatever. I think that's the whole goal of my ideology, is I will always advocate for things that are to the left of what we are. That's my position, though. But again, even if you are a communist, right? Like, these people are like the uber left people, right? They're like, oh, I'm so far left that I hate everyone. It's like, okay. Well, first of all, you're so far to the left and you don't know what democratic socialist means. So, okay, you're a far leftist who doesn't know what a basic left term means. And you're going to try to destroy the only actual political power we have? Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting idea. I disagree with that strategy.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I disagree with that strategy, but it's a strategy nonetheless. But you got to be honest with me. Whew. We were generally excluded from the New Deal as black people. That's absolutely correct. That's why you have to foreground FDR was a Democrat within the slave-owning Democratic Party. Like, yes, the Democratic Party shifted after FDR. That's a very important thing to understand. So I'm sorry if I didn't underscore that enough, but I tried to include that in my analysis. I hope I did a decent job. I don't know. It's because most people got told that democracy only comes out of capitalism. Because of that, we have to use the term democratic socialism. Sad, really sad. I don't know if we ever had to use the term democratic socialism. But I understand why it was a choice that was made. I understand the choice. I don't know if it was required, but I understand why. But yeah, I mean, it's very important to understand that Democrats were not good guys in the 20s and 30s. Like, and you can make the argument that they've never been good guys and they never will be, but that's an argument that I'll listen to later. But yeah, I mean, the Democrats now are obviously the better guys compared to the Republicans. But of course, at this point in time, I mean, both parties have always been really cringy, of course. But like, again, the guy literally built concentration camps for Japanese Americans. I mean, you can't really get worse than that. Like, that's really fucking bad. That's really bad. And then FDR died, and his vice president at the time, because he had to get rid of a good vice president. So he got rid of a good vice president. and replaced him with a vice president that utilized nuclear bombs unnecessarily on innocent civilians. Like, and that's one thing that I don't like about Bernie's romanticization of FDR. And I don't like DSA's kind of romanticization of FDR. Because FDR gave us concentration camps. Yes, the New Deal was good, you know, considering the possible other alternatives, maybe, right? But it's like concentration camps, and then he died and gave us a vice president who used nuclear fucking weapons on innocent people. I mean, it really does not get worse than that. Like, as far as damage to the human condition, as far as damage to just humanity in general, I mean, it really doesn't get worse. If the Civil War looks like January 6th, we're doomed. I mean, yeah, probably. The New Deal was only good because labor was strong. Exactly. Hello, Andreas. €5 to my anarchist comrade. Thank you, thank you. I love euros because they're worth more than dollars, though they just get converted to dollars instantly. I'd rather hold on to the euros, you know, play a little bit of currency exchange games, you know, but hey, whatever. I'll take it. They do that with FDR as a messaging. I understand that, screenshotted. I understand it. I mean, I get it. Like, that's my thing. I get it. But it's like, again, you've got these people who claim to be uber left that are like, Joe Biden isn't FDR. Joe Biden's a centrist Democrat. Well, I've got news for you. First of all, read a book, like literally any book. Like, read Clifford the Big Red Dog for all I give a shit. Just read a single book. And then after you've read one book, go to the Wikipedia article for FDR and just read the whole thing. And then 3, shut the fuck up. And then 4, please fuck off. That's my 4-step plan to those people. Jimmy Dore is quite smart. He is like the little finger of the left. I don't know if I agree with that analysis. But yeah, does anyone have questions, comments, or concerns for the time being? Because I'm about ready to turn this fucker off. Again, the next show will probably be the inauguration show. And, let's see. Can I do this? Is this better? So the next show will probably be the inauguration show. Also, I do want to apologize. I haven't been uploading the podcast to Anchor recently. So if you listen on Anchor, I apologize for that. Yo, this microphone smells weird up close. Normally, I don't have my nose in the microphone. But tomorrow, I will be doing the inauguration. I will also probably have my brother here for co-commentary. I will bully him in some capacity to be here for co-commentary. So if you like that, then there you go. If you don't like that, then, well, fuck you. And if you have questions, let me get the chat up here. Hold up. Let me get the chat up here. So look at me. I'm chilling, right? I got my legs up. I got my feet on the desk. All right, so. Studio is loading the chat. Give my mic a bath. Maybe I will. I'm clipping really bad. I bet I am. All right. But yeah, so that's going to be the idea. Yeah, my microphone smells like metal. It's really weird. I'm going to use the mic to censor my face. There you go. That's like an album cover. Maybe this will be like the cover of my first book. It'll be the microphone censoring my face, right? That's pretty cool, right? Like, this is a pretty cool motif. I want some $200 or $500 banknotes. I mean, I want a lot of things. Come back on GMC. I mean, I would like to. I don't know what my, situation is right now. So, I mean, I would like to. But, what kind of mic is this? This is an ATR 2500X Audio Technica. Am I single? No. That smell is actually from you, not the metal. Your body releases certain oils when it comes into contact with certain metals. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for that. I appreciate that. Second of all, fuck you. And third of all, I have nothing else. Biden is actually one step from inaugurating in the bunker. Hell yes. We'll see how that goes.
You will file articles of impeachment against President Joe Biden.
Fucking Joe Biden. FDR wasn't perfect, but probably the best Democratic president we've had. No, that's true. That's correct. So I get why people talk about him, but it's like, can't romanticize that too much, you know? Hello, Rebecca. The show's basically over. I'm just doing a little bit of like, you know, chilling with the chat room time. Can you read about it on TMZ? No, Mike Silver. My personal life is personal. That being said, don't let anything stop you from letting your personal feelings being read in the chat room. I love when people will positively describe my physical characteristics. To put it simply. That's interesting. Shurieff. Oh God, no! Please stop, phone police. Mudjo 2 is a good friend and nothing else. I want a third girlfriend who is sexy and cute. I mean, don't we all? Don't we all? This is the streaming site where you can still call people simps. I mean, of course, you got to. I often wondered what an RFK president would have been like. RFK would have been super interesting, but obviously that wasn't supposed to happen. So, part of me believes in time travel. There's a little bit of a little fun conspiracy for you. There's a part of me that believes in time travel, but time travel was created and owned only by the CIA. Like, why do you think Abraham Lincoln was shot? Abraham Lincoln was shot by who? John Wilkes Booth? No way. That was a time traveler. Like, Abraham Lincoln getting shot destroyed Reconstruction. We are literally living. Feel free to slide anywhere you want, Thea. I will accept all sliding. I love the playground. But we are in like the worst possible timeline when it comes to like high profile assassinations, right? And it feels like it has to be planned. Like, look at World War II, for example. Has to be planned. Or was it World War I? Whichever one, Franz Ferdinand or whatever, right? That's all planned, obviously. The CIA invented time travel. That's why they killed Abraham Lincoln. That's why they killed JFK. That's why they killed that other dude in Europe. That's why they killed them and that other person. So that's my little fun fan theory. What about the banana republics? I don't eat bananas. It interacts with my medication. No one assassinated me yet, and I'm pretty high profile. Well, maybe you're just irrelevant. Like, you can be high profile and irrelevant. I think most people are high profile and irrelevant. I think the timeline could be much darker. But that's the thing, Zero, is they want us to live in relative prosperity, right? Like, that's the thing with capitalism. It's like they don't give a shit about anyone except themselves. So they want to maintain capitalism. And they, you know, they don't want it to be like dystopian, right? Like Trump is kind of fucking shit up and, you know, but maybe Trump is all part of the thing, like just a temporary genocide of poor people, because that's what coronavirus has been. A literal genocide of the poor. Since we live in Matrix, I want to date a girl that looks like Taylor Swift. Can I have that? Maybe. JFK was assassination because he was going to share info about extraterrestrials. Maybe. JFK was killed because he tried to stop the billion-dollar aid to Israel. It is still considered as the best example of Israeli overreach. Maybe. This stream looks now like a whistleblower interview. Yeah, I know, right? Like, this is great. Anyway, yeah, so I am going to be peacing out. Thank you all for joining me. If someone wants to slide in my DMs, feel free to do so. If someone wants to try to do a little bit of a wave through the window meet and greet, feel free to do so. Just let me know. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. I'm not going to be online as much in general, so like when it comes to responding to emails or Twitter posts or any of that stuff, I'm not going to be as able to respond. When it comes to coming on other shows, I already booked the No Miki show for this Friday, so I'm still going to try to do that, but I'm trying not to book any other shows until I know exactly where I'm going to be and stuff like that, so please understand, bear with me, and I will see y'all for Joe Biden's inauguration, and then shortly afterward, Joe Biden's inauguration,
you will file articles of impeachment against President Joe Biden.
Hell yes. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's go.
And this is just the beginning of America First.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear word. A kid coming from a very... I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Lying dog-faced pony shoulder. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Get your words straight, Jack.
No good. No good. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We're people in law and order. 7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp. They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up. And they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room. And he's like this, and we will, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And he's, this is on live television.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room. Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, pigs, talking about our police. Pigs, 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 talking about our pigs, 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 talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come out and address my progressive audience. They won't come out and address Bree's audience, or Katie's audience, or Justin Jackson, or you. They are not accountable to us. They're accountable to the whoever the fuck themselves. Let's not kid ourselves. As Chris Hedges taught us a long time ago, the people attracted to politics are the most mediocre of people. They're not your friends. They are elected servants, and start fucking treating them that way.
I hear Brownie is seconding you in the background.
They're not your fucking friends. They're the people standing in between us and fucking healthcare. They're putting their fucking personal position ahead of that. Don't fucking forget that.
Who are you talking about with that, Jimmy?
All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. All of a sudden.
A patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes. Really? And I resent like hell. I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true.
For cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president.
He was not a loser.
Then I have an Article 2 where I have the right to do whatever I want as president.
The good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is, I'm coming back.